Hi guys, this is Klazart and I've got Rise alongside me for an exciting matchup in the OSL round of 16 and everything on the line for both of these players. This is going to be Canata versus byhero, hero of buys, and by buys of course I mean those things that you get in cricket sometimes. Hero of buys, and in a must-win matchup because the winner of this will progress through to the next round, the OSL round of 8, and I'm going to let Rise take it away.
Well, we got some medium names here. Canata actually provided us with a very good game last time we watched against Piano, of all players, and certainly that was a little bit of a surprise in my mind because we weren't expecting much from that game, but it ended up being very exciting. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Obviously, it's spoiled already because we're watching Canata, but well, actually, no, that was that was MSL. So it looks like I just
it's now spoiled because of what?
Whoops! All right, byhero is a player that we thought was actually going to be an up-and-coming name last season around. He actually did pretty well, but unfortunately wasn't able to make it all the way. I don't remember if he got to the round 8 or the round 16 or what it was, but he did play some pretty good games, and I remember specifically going, wow, I'm impressed by byhero. So we'll have to see what these players can offer us today. Canata, of course, is about he's actually pretty good against Zerg, over a 55% win rate, versus Hero, who's got under a 50% win rate, under a 45% win rate against Terran. So, you know, certainly going to be expecting an interesting game either way. They're playing on Return of the King, which is slightly favored towards Terran. So I got to say, it looks like, especially after watching Kanata's last game that I spoiled already, I got to expect that Canata may have the upper hand here. But once again, byhero has surprised me in the past, and certainly I wouldn't put it past him to do it again.
Yeah, it looks like we've got Canata at the bottom left in red at the 7 o'clock position and Hero at the top left in teal. I've got to wonder, when these guys choose their names, are they aware of the implications? You know, it's a little bit like when you have a kid and you decide to name them. You don't want to give them a name that's going to get them made fun of in the playground. I mean,
like
you don't want to name your kid, right, or like Rupert Brannigan III. You know, something ridiculous like that. Because you just know that it's going to mean 10 years of 10 or 15 years at least of torture, and possibly a lifetime of scarring after that. So you know, these guys have got to think about that when they come up. Or is it just my old-fashioned lecherous, well, not old-fashioned, but my dirty lecherous mind that is drawing kind of conclusions that I shouldn't be drawing? I don't know. We'll leave that argument for later. Canata has been quite rejuvenated recently. He's just come back in some big games, and he's won some big games. He's dumped Savior out of the MSL. That was huge. And he's been playing some pretty reasonable StarCraft, and he's been performing consistently as well for SK Team 1 in the Pro League. So it looks like he's not anywhere near back to being at his best, and he's not really performing to a level that would scare the top players that are performing right now, like Jaedong or Flash or Bisu. But definitely, I think anyone else would have to take him very, very seriously. I think even the others would have to take him very seriously, as Savior found out, much to his disappointment. But it looks like we might be seeing a 12 hatch going down for Hero here. He's sending a couple of drones out. And it'll be interesting. Yeah, it looks like he's going to take his 12 hatch as well as send a drone scout out, even though his initial overlord has scouted in the right direction. Canata has not put any racks or anything else down. We might potentially be seeing either a late racks or a 14cc from Canata, which if he does that, I think he might, well, even though he's up against a 12 hatch, it might still come back to hurt him. And now sending that SCV out, and it looks like he is going to go for a 14cc. Canata with flashitis, and is it going to cost him? Because remember, if you lose this game, you're out of the OSL.
Before we get to the 14cc, what the hell are you talking about with the dirty name? I can't even think of like an anagram of Canata that is dirty. Like, it's not like his name is Assface. Byhero? That seems even less. Oh, is it dirty or something, or what am I missing?
Well, it's not dirty, but it's, I don't know.
Oh, all right. Because I'm sitting here thinking about which.
It's just my lecherous. It's just my lecherous mind.
I think I got a pretty dirty mind, and I was like, I can't make any connection to this. All right. So it looks
clearly
like that 14.
Clearly, you've been trumped in the dirty mind stakes by me, Rise.
Clearly, because I have no idea what you were getting at. But let's get back to the game. It looks like that 14cc is getting scouted, but I gotta say, it looks like he's going to be safe, as we just saw a 12 hatch coming from byhero. So this may be a big gamble that is going to pay off big time for Canata. Even though he was scouted so early, I honestly don't think it's going to affect him much. And if you look at his building placement already, he's got good position. He's got a great location to put like a bunker right between that command center and his barracks, and he'll be able to block the ramp and protect pretty much all that entire area with a single bunker. So I'm going to assume that he's going to build one as we see a couple of links head over there. But either way, a couple of links aren't going to do much. There is the bunker right there, so it looks like he is going to do just that. And this, I think, is actually going to be the first case of flashitis that pays off heavily in this matchup. And we got a couple of links to put some pressure on, and look like they're going to attack the SEV's mining a little bit, disrupt mining a little. But really, that's going to be all they can do. A few more Marines are going to be out very shortly. And the big question in my mind is, are we going to see mech, or are we going to see a medic Marine build coming from Canata?
Yeah, you know, I would have loved to see Hero try and stop that scouting SCV and go for some sort of a two-hatch build, two-hatch surprise build. And Canata straight away starting up 2 factories straight away. So we might be seeing some sort of a timing push from Canata here. And remember that Hero has got no scouting information, so Canata continues to confound. Meanwhile, Canata still got his SCV scouting around in byhero's base. Hero getting his lair up. Yeah, I would have loved to see some sort of 2-hatchery build from Hero, but I guess he had no way of really stopping that scout, so he decided not to go for it. He's put his 3rd hatchery down at his natural expo, and it's going to be pretty much down to how effective his Mutalist Harass is going to be. But yeah, seeing those 2 factories go down, we can pretty much be sure that it is going to be a mech build, one that Canata has been favoring lately. I know we've had this discussion, even in the YouTube comments, about the whole, the benefits and lack thereof. And Hero putting down a creep colony, I guess he's worried about, I guess it's good that he's putting that down, even if it's just, even if it is a mech build, because he'd want to stop those vultures from getting through and doing a run by. Finally takes that SCV down, meanwhile starting up his Spire in his natural expo. But yeah, the 14cc build, I know there's been arguments about it, about why all these players are doing it. There must be some hidden benefit that all of us watching the games aren't be aware of. Well, 14cc is a little bit of a cheese build. It's just as much of a cheese build as, say, you know, a proxy racks or something like that, or a forward racks, or going 2 racks straight away at the start. It's just as much of a cheese build as anything like that, except it's a cheese build. It's an economic cheese build as opposed to an aggressive cheese build, in that if it pays off, you should be ahead economically of your opponent and be able to finish the game in the mid game. If you survive the early game, you should be able to win in the mid-late game. So, and as with any other cheese build, I think its success relies on the opponent not anticipating it and being surprised by it. So I don't think inherently it's got any benefits beyond that. If it works, you've got a really good chance. And 6 vultures coming out from Canata, and byhero is going to be a little bit surprised by this. Loses his initial links. He's only got the 1 sunken. He's got his Spire going up as well. Canata could inflict serious damage here with those vultures.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to have to try to wall off here, but he's not going to get a true wall. I think there's still a space for you to get through. There is the last building to make a wall, and that is going to thwart the 5 vultures that Canata has. But, I mean, really, look at the amount of units, and oh, alright, so he is going to cancel one of the buildings, but he is just forced byhero to waste 3 drones and build 3 buildings, and that is going to hurt. And oh, and he loses an Overlord on top of everything. That sucks. Now we see Mutas coming out, but I got to say, so far, Canata has been prepared for everything. So we're seeing some 3-hatch Mutas come here, but it's almost like Canata was expecting this. I think he was actually going to expect 2-hatch Muta originally, like you were saying, but because it was scouted, there was no reason to go it. So rather than go the straight up all-in build, byhero has decided to go for 3-hatch Muta, but man, Canata is in great position to deal with this. He's got 4 Goliaths out already. He's probably upgrading Karen boosters. He's actually forcing his way into the Mutas, targeting them, and takes out 1 Muta before he heads back. It looks like he may lose a Goliath in the process, so maybe it wasn't the smartest thing, but he's reinforcing with more Goliaths. He's got turrets. He's got a total of 4 Goliaths, 3 Goliaths still, and he's taken out a couple of Mutas, not to mention damage them heavily. So I really feel like Canata is in control in this game. He's doing a great job of just oh, and he takes out that drone. Oh man, byhero is just having poor luck here, and I don't see things working out for him in any way at this point, as Canata continues to just run the tempo in this game.
Yeah, Hero is in a terrible position, and you rightly said the Canata. And now we can see why the 14cc, I guess, build is so popular, because when it works, it really works. But the problem is that if the Zerg player had gone, say, for a 9 pool or even an overpool there, he would have been able to put a lot of pressure on Canata early on, and possibly even earlier on in the mid game, and Canata might have succumbed to it. And we've seen Flash succumb to it so often. I guess with Canata, he's more of a standard player, and players don't expect him to go 14cc as often, which is why I guess byhero didn't anticipate it. Again, but we have to remember that with all respect to byhero, he is not the caliber of player that Jaedong is or Effort is, really, so that this is a safer build against them. But Canata is looking in a really strong position now to advance to the OSL round of 8, which I think would be the first time he would have achieved that particular goal. Now sending out a couple more vultures. Hero, and that poor micro by Hero, he had a bunch of Hydralists and a Zergling at top of that ramp to precisely for that reason to stop that, and he couldn't, and Canata gets all of his vultures through, and they're going to just be roaming the maps planting spider mines, and a couple of Hydralists just go down. So Hero, just his micro has been incredibly lackluster. Canata has been spot on with his vultures, especially in intercepting that drone that was going to set up that expansion at the 1 o'clock position. But Hero has been really lackluster in this game, and his macro doesn't seem to be too great either. We've seen a couple of occasions with drones idling, waiting to be given orders.
Well, I gotta agree with you, man. I would say that 14cc is actually like a cheese build of sorts, being the fact that it's certainly a gamble. And Canata, man, like you said, maybe he was byhero was unassuming that it would be done by a player like him. Oh man, more drones being taken out in transfer. byhero just not able to catch a break, and now we're seeing mass Goliaths from 5 factories, I think actually, just being pumped, and they're gonna head straight over to byhero's base. And with that ramp advantage and everything, it's going to be very difficult for byhero to really stay in this game much longer. You can see he's clearly stuck in tier 2 tech, which is very typical of Zerg players when they lose against mech. But you know, he's so far behind in economy and just in units in general that I don't see him ever getting to hive tech in this game soon enough. And oh, another spider mine going off, but not actually going to catch any units. Very close though. And man, I gotta say, I'm impressed by Canata's play. He's been, while obviously it was a 14cc and it puts him in a good position, the fact that he went for it, he was ballsy enough to do it. You know, it's a little bit of the mind game aspect of that he played, and the fact that it paid off like this. That's 2 good games in a row I've seen from this kid. And I gotta say, I'm gonna start paying attention to him a little bit more, especially as these games go on for OSL and MSL, because he surprised me so far. And with the better players playing worse, it seems he may actually have a pretty good chance of going very far in either one of these leagues, or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, and Canata has now got a massive group of Goliaths, although he doesn't have that massive turret defense that he had versus Savior at his Natural Expo. But then his opponent hasn't gotten as many Mutalisks. His opponent has gone for Hydralists as well. byhero continued to try and find some isolated Goliaths and deplete Canata's forces that way. He managed to snipe a couple and get away with his Mutalist. He's built up a decent sized Hydralist force. He does have +1 Carapace upgrade, as well as +1 ranged attack upgrade on his Mutalist. And now his Mutalist and his Hydralist just getting cut down by those Goliaths that he tries to hold the ramp. He's just completely overwhelmed by Canata's forces. Canata's superior economy kicking in. We're seeing the power of the Terran war machine when it is allowed to function, and Canata is just going to tear through him, and I'm afraid byhero is going to get knocked out any minute now. I'm sure there's going to be no way he's going to be able to defend that Expo at the 12 o'clock, 12:30 position. He's trying to circle around with those Mutalisks and the Hydralists coming around from rear and just try and catch Canata a little bit out of position and try and take his units down piecemeal, but he just doesn't have the forces that he needs to do that. And Canata now just cutting down both that base and fighting on 2 fronts quite comfortably. Hero coming in with the Mutalisks, but the Mutalisks are just dying in seconds. He's got the Hydralists to support though. Is there a chance that Hero might somehow win this battle? The Goliaths are being taken out. That hatchery is still alive. Hero might actually just about win this battle. Canata's forced to bring back some of his Goliaths from the base, and it looks like Hero with his Hydralists is actually going to hold. Hero holds! Incredible! Incredible! Hero, Canata overconfident perhaps. He's got more reinforcements streaming in, but Hero with the shorter supply distance is going to be able to regroup. Those Mutalisks absorbing the damage from the Goliaths, and while they got cut down by the Hydralists, Canata has got 1-1 upgrades on his Goliaths. Hero I thought had only 1-1 upgrades on his Hydralists as well, unless he's got another upgrade, unless he's got 1-2 or something. We did see him kind of put that Evo Chamber down fairly early on, and now Hero coming in with a Mutalist trying to harass Canata in his base, kills off an SCV, but Canata's got a large group of Goliaths heading back in. Is this only a very brief reprieve of Hero? If he gets those Hydralists trapped at that 12:30 position, he's going to get cut down.
Well, I got to say, Canata has 6 factories producing Mask Allied, so even though he's lost as many as he has, I don't think it matters. He's got a better production capability than the Zerg player, which is unheard of. And you can see it on byhero's face. He's like, he was given false hope for a minute. He won that battle, but Canata was just able to reinforce fully. He had a he had like 12 Goliaths ready to go as soon as he lost 12, you know? So, I mean, really, Canata is just going to finish taking out that base now. You can see he looks very confident here, and he's got spider mines all over the map, and he's got vultures to take out those drones as they run. And I just don't think that byhero can come back from this. There's no way. He can't even defend that because of all the spider mines. So, I mean, really, he is out of this game, and Canata is going to take it and move on to the next round. And you can see that byhero is about to GG.
Yeah, byhero puts up a spirited fight back in the middle of the game there, almost giving himself a chance. But in the end, Canada's economy was just too strong for him, and there was really nothing he could do. And it's just now a matter of Canata finishing him off. And Canata marches, and byhero GG's. Canata relentlessly continuing his march to the next round. And could he be the surprise package? Could he be the dark horse of this OSL?
You know, he could be, and he's played a very good set of games so far. I'm very impressed by his play. And he actually just made that game look easy. And that's in part because he was able to pull off a 14cc pretty much unharassed, but still, he did it, you know. And byhero, I never thought he was a slouch by any means, but unfortunately for him, he is not going to move on. So he's going to have to wait again until next season to try again. So GG, in my opinion. That's all I got for you.
GG guys, thanks for listening.
고인규가 부진했었기 때문이거든요. 이제 고인규, 정명훈 둘이서 정말 테란 명가 T1의 전통을